The interstellar mediation chamber was designed to intimidate. Its walls rose like obsidian cliffs, carved with symbols of conquest and authority from a dozen ancient empires. At the center stood a circular table where power, not diplomacy, usually decided outcomes. Envoy Sarthkel of the Zenari Dominion observed the newest delegates with detached amusement. 47 species had arrived to renegotiate border transit laws after a recent pirate surge. Most were predictable. Careful. Fearful. Then there were the humans. They sat calmly at their assigned position, no armor, no visible weapons, no intimidation displays. Just simple attire and neutral expressions. Their lead representative, Dr. Mara Ellison, looked more like an academic than a negotiator, dark blazer, tied-back hair, hands folded patiently on the table. Soft-skinned, Sarthkel muttered to his aide. No claws. No exoskeleton. No threat. The Zenari had ruled trade routes for over 2,000 cycles. Negotiations like this were formalities. Humans would receive limited access, pay tariffs, and learn their place. That was when the lights flickered. A distortion ripple passed through the chamber, barely noticeable unless you knew what to look for. Sarthkel's threat sensors screamed a half-second too late. Blades appeared. Phase-cloaked assassins dropped into the chamber mid-strike, weapons already moving toward exposed targets. This wasn't chaos, it was execution. A surgical removal of leadership. Sarthkel recoiled as an assassin lunged toward the human delegation. The blade, a monomolecular edge vibrating at lethal frequency, was already inches from Dr. Ellison's throat. She moved. Not with panic. Not with hesitation. Her hand rose, fingers snapping shut around the blade. The sound wasn't dramatic. Just a sharp metallic clack as flesh met weapon. The assassin froze. So did the room. Blood trickled down Dr. Ellison's palm, but her grip never loosened. Her eyes locked onto the attackers, calm and assessing, like a scientist observing a failed experiment. Then she stepped forward. The assassin never completed the attack. Sarthkel watched in disbelief as the human twisted the blade free, redirected its momentum, and ended the threat in a single fluid motion. It was efficient. Precise. Final. Around the chamber, similar scenes unfolded. Humans moving faster than prediction algorithms. Drawing concealed weapons. Neutralizing attackers before security systems even activated. This wasn't luck. This was preparation. And for the first time in centuries, Sarthkel felt something unfamiliar tighten in his chest. Fear. Silence followed the violence. The chamber floor was scattered with bodies, assassins neutralized with terrifying efficiency. Emergency shields finally activated, sealing the hull long after it mattered. Dr. Mara Ellison wiped the blade clean using a cloth from her pocket, then calmly placed it on the table. Security response time, she said evenly, checking a wrist display, 3 minutes, 42 seconds. That needs improvement. Sarthkel stared. Translator confirmed the words. The tone. The casual dismissal of what had just occurred. You, he began, mandibles clicking. You intercepted a phase blade. That is biologically impossible. Dr. Ellison tilted her head slightly. Is it? You lack natural armor. No reflex enhancers. No visible augments. Correct, she replied. We didn't need them. Other alien delegates watched in stunned silence. Warriors hid behind chairs. Diplomats clutched emergency beacons they hadn't activated fast enough. Sarthkel leaned forward slowly. Explain. One of the human escorts, Captain Reyes, spoke instead. All registered human diplomats undergo baseline combat conditioning. Diplomats? Sarthkel echoed. Yes, Reyes said. 2 years minimum service before off-world assignment. Dr. Ellison nodded. Some of us served longer. You are scientists, Sarthkel said weakly. I am, she agreed. Before that, I was infantry. She gestured to the fallen assassin. Your operative telegraphed the strike. Micro-shift in shoulder tension. Off-balance foot placement. I saw it before the blade moved. Sarthkel's threat models collapsed one by one. You train your civilians for combat. We train our citizens for survival, Ellison corrected. Violence is just one variable. A murmur spread through the chamber. The Zenari had never encountered a species where everyone was a potential combatant. You present yourselves as negotiators, Sarthkel said slowly. We are, Ellison replied. But negotiation assumes the option of refusal. Her eyes met his, steady and unblinking. We don't come unprepared. For the first time in his long career, Sarthkel realized the mistake they had all made. Humans weren't pretending to be harmless. They simply didn't need to prove otherwise. Medical drones cleared the chamber while emergency councils convened in overlapping frequencies. The assassination attempt had failed, but its consequences were far worse than intended. The humans remained seated. Calm. Patient. Watching. Sarthkel reviewed historical data at frantic speed. Earth. Terra. Death world classification revised upward repeatedly. Endless internal conflicts. Weapon innovation driven by necessity. A species that had nearly wiped itself out, and survived anyway. You evolved without natural weapons, he said aloud. Yes, Dr. Ellison replied. So we made our own. She leaned back slightly. Predators, disasters, disease. Earth never stopped trying to kill us. We adapted. Sarthkel's voice lowered. And now you bring that adaptation here. We bring restraint, she corrected. You attacked us first. The Trade Council reconvened within the hour. The tone had changed completely. Human proposals were no longer requests. They were considerations. Tariffs reduced. Routes expanded. Mutual defense clauses quietly added. No one objected. Because every delegate now understood the truth, humans didn't dominate through numbers or technology alone. They dominated through preparedness. As the session closed, Sarthkel approached the human table cautiously. You hid this well, he said. Dr. Ellison smiled faintly. You never asked. He hesitated. If the assassination had succeeded elsewhere, would you have retaliated? Her smile faded. Yes, she said simply. Decisively. Sarthkel believed her. And that terrified him more than the blade. Weeks later, the incident was classified across most of the galaxy. Rumors spread anyway. Stories of humans catching blades. Of diplomats who fought like soldiers. Of smiles that hid predators behind them. On Earth, Dr. Ellison filed her report and returned to her research lab as if nothing unusual had happened. Across the stars, empires adjusted their threat assessments. Quietly. Carefully. Because the galaxy had learned a lesson it would not forget. Humans didn't posture. Humans didn't boast. Humans didn't threaten. They waited. And if forced, they finished it.